Hey, it's Adrian. Today, I am spending a little bit more time to elaborate to you about what we have discussed yesterday, which is about having the right mindset to become an entrepreneur and preparing you to shift from employee thinking to entrepreneur thinking. I want to elaborate further from what I discussed yesterday. The first point of becoming a successful entrepreneur is about having the right mindset. We spoke a lot about our existence are all made of energy. So by having the right mindset will give us the right energy, will project then the right attraction towards us. All right. So I thought having that right mindset is very, very important. But thinking a little bit deeper from there, how do we have the right mindset? So there are three shifts that I focus on to help me becoming ready as an entrepreneur. One of the shift for me was really about making sure I understand why becoming successful is not an option. And more than that, what does it really mean to me in terms of being successful? Is it really just about financial reward? Yeah, it could be, but the truth is, in anything in our life, money is just a way, a means to an end, all right? A means to get us to actually the ultimate goal. So it's having money is really just an enabler. So I have to ask myself, what does it really mean to become successful? So for me, becoming successful really has a lot to do with being being both successful in both my career as well as my family. Having a career but living away from my family was really partially successful to me. When I embraced entrepreneurship journey, my goal was really to be able to settle with my family, live together in one family, and then at the same time grow my career. So becoming an entrepreneur is really the way to help me to achieve that. So keeping that in mind, having a successful means really the win-win in career and life helps me to project myself the focus on creating success in both my career and my family. That is something that is very important to me. Now, at the same time, I ask myself, why, beyond just visualizing the success, what if I am not successful? What would that mean to me? So this create a little bit scarcity, urgency to help me to take action. All right. If I have a career but not living with my family, do I call that a success? I would say partially. And if I live with my family but I don't have a career, will I be successful? It's also a partial situation. So therefore, really having a clarity of what does success means, and on the opposite end, how will not being successful impact me, makes me realize the importance of why I need to make certain decision. All right. So in this case, it's about becoming an entrepreneur. So if I am not able to live with my family, then basically my marriage will break down. Then basically I'm going to be living alone all my life. Then it felt like really a failure in my personal life. And worse than that, being alone is really not so fun when you have no one to share with. So I thought this is very important. In order to have the right understanding of your why, take time. Take time to make sure you get into that deep value inside you to know why is success so important to you and what does it really mean to you. And more than that, what does not success mean to you too, so that it creates that clarity in your mind. And when that is clear, you will very likely understand what is the right decision to take when it comes to doing something. Okay. The next thing is, when knowing your why is one thing, but based on our past programming of becoming who we are today, we made certain choices. And along the process of making choices, we also make certain mistakes. So it's very normal that the negative thought will arise throughout the journey. Now the question is, how do we turn it around, right? How do we reverse the negative thoughts to make sure that we are able and ready to move forward despite being fearful about the negative possibility? So in this case, there are three things that I realized I help myself to do by first acknowledging the risk, right? Acknowledging the possibility of the negative thoughts. It could be real, all right? and at the same time telling myself, what does it really mean to me when it comes to this negative thought? All right, starting a business online is very risky because I have no skill. Yeah. On the other hand, what does it really mean to me is I just don't know how to get started. It doesn't mean that I am not starting the online business is not real. So all I need to do is to sit down and understand, when I have a negative thought, what does it really mean to me? Does it really mean that the business is risky, or does it really mean that there is something missing in me that I have not learned, that have not enabled me to become successful? So what are this something? So what does it really mean to me helps me a lot to get clarity of why this negative thought came around. And after that, the last question I ask myself is, what do I need to experience success? Or what do I need to experience result? What do I need to experience acceptance? You know, so I ask myself this question all the time. What do I need to experience the positive impact of the negative thoughts? So by asking myself this, I realize in this case, maybe all I need to do is to find the right mentor, helping me, showing me, hand-holding with me to learn how to start this business online. The next step could be making sure that I am going to go through a learning phase. In every mistake that I make, I take away some learning so that I understand that this works and that doesn't work, and it helps me to build up my confidence. So that will help me to turn around negativity. And what is very important, I missed this, is acknowledging the negative thoughts. They could be real. It's very important to acknowledge it first so that you don't ignore or neglect your own thought, but making it sure, having your mind being heard, and then address the real fundamental. So acknowledge it, and then ask myself, what does it really mean, and how do I experience the positive side of the negative thoughts? So that helps me to anchor myself and find answers, and then focus me towards becoming ready and embrace the action. Last but not least is about creating momentum. Now, we spoke yesterday about committing to action as well as the shift that is very important, shift number 2. In order to create momentum, the only way to create momentum is to take action. All right. Now, the only way to create momentum is to take action, and to take the right action. So what does it really help us to do by creating momentum is to break down the small milestone and the big milestones. You know, in order for us to make progress, we must create the small milestone and the big milestone. For me, starting a business online, small milestone could be how to set up a Facebook fan page. All right. Whereas the big milestone for me would be getting my first sales. So in order to do that, so I start to break down my milestone and make it clearer to myself. How does it work? How do I then measure my progress? All right, this way, it helps me to also enable me to celebrate my success, so that I'm no longer just blind by the fact that I'm doing and doing and doing and not sure if I'm on the right track or not. So celebrate the small success as well as the big one whenever you can. And last but not least, always ask, what did I learn from this process? What did I learn from this process every day to help me to make progress? See, what I started to do now is to make sure that I create my own journal that helps me to make progress and understand what have I learned, how am I creating my progress, and how am I moving forward. So this 3 shift is helpful to me. I hope it's also helpful to you. The only way to find out is to try it, right? So I have tried it for myself. As you can see, I'm getting ready for my routine run so that I can project my own right mindset and my thinking to be ready for the rest of the day. So I want to summarize. Having the right mindset is the first point of becoming ready to become an entrepreneur. It's all about understanding your why. Okay, why is it important to be successful, and what does it really mean to you, and how would not being successful means to you too, so that it create that needs, right? And then the second thing is the negative thought process. How do you then acknowledge it and overcome it by asking yourself, what does it really mean? Is the negativity coming from the space of fear? If yes, what kind of fear are you feeling of? Is it fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown? And then ask yourself, how can you make it positive? How can you experience the positive side of it? If it's about the fear of failure, how can you experience success? If it's about fear of rejection, how do you experience acceptance? And if it's about fear of the unknown, how do you experience certainty? So this is the only way to find out. Last but not least, creating momentum by making sure you keep a milestone, all right, big or small, and make sure you celebrate each of the milestone whenever you can and make time for it. It's very important. Last but not least, keep in mind what are the learning you can take away, and always ask yourself, what did I learn? Okay, maybe one additional point I should add on to it is have a journal. Have a journal that shows you, all right, how does it work and what have you learned from it. So hope you enjoyed this and take action today. Start shifting the mindset so that you're prepared for your own business. Speak to you soon. Bye.